Hey y'all, this is going to be really fast. This is attorney Chandra Betner-Gray, and I wanted to do a video on trusts. I know, there's a whole lot on the internet. There's a whole lot you may have heard about them, but I just wanted to talk about a few basic things about trust. And this was put on my heart because I just recently had a consultation with someone. Oh, y'all got to forgive me. I am at work and there may be sounds. Okay. But I just wanted to pop in and do this while it's on the forefront of my mind. So this potential client uh, wanted to talk about trust, but she was very confused about whether or not she could do it, what, how much money you had to have, and what purposes it served. So I thought, oh, I'll send her a video, and I went to my YouTube page and I didn't have one. So that is what brings us to this point. So there's a few things I want to talk about. First of all, a trust has so many like purposes that it can serve, and it depends on what your goals are. So trusts aren't like a one size fits all, and it really, I would definitely recommend that depending on your situation and what you are trying to achieve, that you consult with an attorney. I know that you can just download something online, but that doesn't mean that that's the appropriate trust, that it will achieve what you want it to achieve. It also doesn't mean that you will have the protections, or your next of kin, your beneficiaries will have the protections that you want them to have. And all of this can vary based on the language. This is why you want to talk to a estate planning attorney. Okay. So the first thing is a trust just is an agreement. It's something that is written just like a will. We often we have a picture of what a will is in our mind, but we don't always understand that a trust is very similar in that it is established by a writing. Okay, this is something that we write down. So that's the first thing. Um, and there are key players in a trust agreement. So there is the grantor, that is the person who is creating the trust or establishing the trust. They also are known as the settler. That's the more frequently used word. And then there is the, or trustor, TOR at the end. And then there is the trustee. That is the person that you are empowering to act on your behalf, if it's not you, to administer the trust. They are stewards, but they don't necessarily have to be the beneficiary, which is the third party. A beneficiary is who this trust is established for. Trust can be established for a myriad of beneficiaries, including the same person or persons who set the trust up. So this is part of why you want to make sure that you're talking to someone when you establish your trust. Okay, the trustee will be able to administer or make decisions for the best interests of the beneficiary. Okay. Then there are types of trust. Now, there are so many types. I'm not going to get into all of that, but the primary two types are revocable and irrevocable. And they are just like they sound. One can freely be revoked and changed as much or as little as you would like. And ultimately, they serve a purpose of probate avoidance upon the death of the person who establishes the trust. Okay. That is also a writing, but it can be changed at any time. Irrevocable trusts, on the other hand, are irrevocable. And so they, not that they cannot be changed, but it is much more difficult to change them. Um, there has to be agreement of the beneficiaries, or there has to be a court order. There is all sorts of nuance around that, but as a general rule, the idea is that this irrevocable trust stands alone, separate from the person who established the trust, and it has its own tax ID number, and therefore whatever you put into that trust with its own tax ID number is owned by the trust and no longer owned by the settler, trustor, or grantor, whatever word you want to use. Okay. The revocable trust is not the same. So while you are living, the revocable trust, whatever is in the revocable trust, essentially is still in the estate of the grantor, settler, or trustor, because it does not have its own tax ID and because it's freely revocable. It can be changed at any time. So it doesn't give the benefits that an irrevocable trust may give while you are living. However, upon your passing, it works as a conduit and it moves your things now into an irrevocable trust that at that point cannot be changed or is much more difficult to change. Okay. I know it's a lot of information, but I think it's really important that we understand that anybody can establish a trust. You don't have to be super wealthy. In fact, trust can be used to build wealth and to hold on to it and to preserve it in the case of an irrevocable trust from a Medicaid spend down or creditors who have sued you and want to attach to your assets. Now, if it's in an irrevocable trust, you don't own that asset anymore. There's so many other benefits to trust, and I would love to talk to you about them or provide you with more written information. So you certainly can email me or message me or put it in the comments because I'd be happy to explain more to you and why, depending on your situation, what you need may change. So you can email me at chandra@betnergraylaw.com. And of course, you can always just go to our website, betnergraylaw.com. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and all the things. We're there. I'd be happy to talk to you. Take care.